Building on a great deal of feedback and discussion, we're working on an update to the game with the next regularly scheduled weekly maintenance in each region. Players who have earned a given rank 3 essence on one character will be able to directly obtain that essence from Mother on any subsequent characters. By playing an alt character that is missing the essences that have already been earned on a different character, most ordinary Vision of N'Zoth activities such as horrific visions, assaults, raid bosses, mythic keystone dungeons, or BFA Season 4 PvP will award a new soulbound currency, Echoes of Ny'alotha. These echoes can be brought to Mother in the Heart Chamber and exchanged directly for eligible rank 3 essences. While ordinarily each specific essence must be learned in order to unlock it for other characters via Mother, all essences associated with Nazjatar and Mechagon reputation will be available in if any other different character has earned any of the essences available from that reputation. Our goal with this update is to preserve the efforts that players put into unlocking a given essence throughout its associated activity the first time, while offering subsequent characters far more flexibility in pursuing that goal. We'll have additional details in forthcoming hotfix updates that go out around the same time as maintenance, but we wanted to let the community know as soon as possible that this change is in the works. As always, thank you for feedback on your topic. So let's talk about it. It's not account-wide essences. Okay, it's not. I mean, it's just not what it is. Everybody was hoping that they were going to do that, and that's not what they're doing. So what they are doing is what I actually suggested. I mean, this was actually not quite what I was suggesting months ago. Now, if you remember, I made a video on this at the end of Season 3. Because frankly, I was sick of all the fucking crying about it. I was getting really a lot on my nerves when I was streaming, especially. People were constantly going on about it, and it was getting very annoying. I didn't really understand it then, and I still don't really understand it now. The people who are like, oh, essences make alts unplayable. It's like, well, no, they don't. You don't need your alts to have the best possible essences to be able to play them. That's just retarded. Frankly, that's just retarded. I don't know how else to say it. You're just an idiot if you think that. That's all there is to it. You're focused on something that is just not realistic about a character that you don't play enough. You know what I mean? If you played it as much as you played your main, you'd have these essences. So anyway, what they're doing is actually a genius idea. And it was something similar to what I suggested. What I suggested back then was make it so we could do this content a second time on our main and send that to our alts, right? That's what we did in Legion. In Legion, you could earn BLP again, and you could send those tokens that you got to your alts to make legendaries, okay? Again, this was at the end of Legion. Maybe people forget this. Everybody thinks that BFA is some big departure of how gearing worked in Legion. It was considerably worse in Legion. No question about it, and it was present from the beginning of Legion all the way through the end of Legion, unlike BFA, where this was only present for about half of the expansion. So anyway, this is a great idea. I love the idea. It's a nice compromise, frankly. I think it's a perfect compromise because a lot of people just want everything for free, and you're not going to get everything for free, especially in this situation. I'm going to tell you why you're not going to get everything for free. A lot of people don't seem to understand this here, okay? The reason you cannot have account-wide player progression is because it trivializes high-end content. It just does. If you have one option to play a Blood Death Knight or a Bear Druid or a Prot Warrior or any of the 6 tanks, right? If all 6 tanks were the exact same power level as my Death Knight, I would never play my Death Knight. You know what I mean? I would only ever play him if he was the best out of the 6 picks. The game is not that hard to learn. Like, people think like, oh, well, you would still suck at the other 6 tanks. No, I wouldn't. You know what I mean? They're not that hard to learn. It's not that hard to play the game nowadays. So this is a really big concern, and I think a lot of people just overlook this entirely. They don't even think about it when they're asking for these things. They don't seem to understand that if you were able to play any spec in the game, all with the same amount of power level from doing it a single time, PvE would be entirely different. Entirely different. It would be a completely different video game. You would go into a raid fight and say, okay, Rogue is not good for this fight. I'm switching to Mage, and I'm going to not lose any player power or any player progression whatsoever. My character is identical to my Rogue, and it's just a better pick for this spot, so we're always going to do better with it. And you would just switch classes based on the fight or the dungeon or the affix set or anything else. It would be a completely different video game. It is possible that that could happen, but it would no longer be a multiplayer online RPG. It wouldn't be that anymore. It would be something completely different where the role-playing game existed for your entire account. So you were like some puppet master. It would be like an RTS, basically. Like, oh, I can build a mage. Here's the mage. Or I could build a warlock. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. The line's already blurred on this front. It's not going to get any more blurred. It's not what you need. It's not what anybody should want for this game. What you should want is being able to play alts in a way that's fun for you. And for me, it's Mythic Plus dungeons. If it was between doing alts with 0 essences and doing Mythic Plus dungeons, or playing alts with every essence in the game in Mythic Plus dungeons, I'm still going to be playing Mythic Plus dungeons. I just enjoy it. I don't care. I don't care how powerful the gear is, how powerful the character is, how powerful anything else about, the situation is. I enjoy playing that content. So when I log on alts, that's what I do. Sometimes I log on alts to get more powerful so I can enjoy Mythic Plus dungeons even more. That's good for the game. But this is a great compromise, because now I could log on my paladin or my druid or priest, hunter, any of the other classes I'm going to be playing in season 4 now, and I could just go into Mythic Plus dungeons and gradually get an essence over time. Now, who knows? Things to consider here. How much of this currency are we going to actually get from what type of content? So it says, first of all, horrific visions. Let's talk about this all individually. Horrific visions, okay? There's a lot of different variables in horrific visions. There's the full clear, the no clear, the masks, all this stuff. So how many currencies are we going to get from a 5 mask full clear? How much currency are we going to get from a no mask full clear? Are we going to get any currency at all if we don't kill the final boss? These are questions that need to be asked and understood. Assaults. I mean, you can't really give a lot of currency from these, right? You only can do them 3 times total a week, and a lot of people probably don't even do that. So what could possibly come from assaults? Raid bosses. Again, how much is LFR going to give? How much is N'Zoth going to give compared to Maut? How much is Mythic N'Zoth going to give compared to Mythic Maut? How, like Mythic to Heroic N'Zoth, sorry. These questions need to be asked and understood. And of course, Keystone Dungeons. How much is a 10 going to give? How much is a 20 going to give? These are the questions we need to ask. And if it's handled well, it could considerably change the way people approach content. Frankly, this could be insane. Like, if the things are a little bit out of whack, it could be really, really good or really, really bad. Like, for example, think about this. This is one scenario I was thinking about. Imagine if Mythic Raid bosses dropped like 500 and you only needed like 500 for an essence. So you did a whole raid, a whole Mythic Raid boss clear, like a full 12 of 12, whatever, I don't even, 100 of 100, whatever. You got every essence in the game. I mean, we don't know that that's not going to happen. Obviously, it's probably not. But and then Mythic Plus dungeons gave like 5. You know what I mean? That could happen. They could make it where a 15 gives 5 and a 20 gives like 100. Like, the scale gets so big after 15. Like, to give people more encouragement to go past 15. Because a lot of people right now are like, oh, 15, that's all I care about. Get the weekly done. I don't care about keys. Well, I think if Keystones at like 20 were given like 7 times more than a 15, people would probably start looking to do 20s. I mean, this is the level of, I don't even know how to describe it. People want the easiest way out for the least amount of effort at all costs, and this might actually change that, honestly. Like, you might think that this is a genius solution because you're going to get your essences quicker. But honestly, I was thinking about this today, obviously. Just now, I was thinking about this. This might actually be slower than getting some of the essences. Like, think about this. Why would you ever use this to get visions of perfection? Even if you literally hate dungeons, you can go into Heroic Mechagon and get Vision of Perfection. It would take 20 minutes. You know what I mean? You could go into a +5 and get Vision of Perfection. Like, a completely ridiculously easy content. Why would I ever buy it from killing raid bosses? Like, these are things you're going to have to consider. Obviously, the ones that aren't ever going to be like that, like rank 3, Blood of the Enemy is the one that everybody seems to complain about because it's looked at as a universally great essence, and for some reason, everybody hates Battlegrounds. I love Battlegrounds. It's one of my favorite pieces of content in the game. The queues are just way too long. I don't have time for them. But if there was no queues at all, I would probably do Battlegrounds as much as I do Mythic Plus. Either way, why would you ever go into a Battleground again now? So this changes things, right? Like, Battleground participation is going to plummet without Blood of the Enemy. And people say that that's a good thing. I don't like doing content I don't like, and I'm forced to do it. But it's a World of Warcraft video game. You know what I mean? There's a lot of content in the game, and it is good to have these incentives for these different pieces of content. So I would not be surprised if somehow we walk out of this people still upset. People still thinking, oh my God, this isn't even the best way to get this essence. Like, think about that. Seriously, just think about it, right? What this could look like in a world where it's still faster to grind Battlegrounds to get Blood of the Enemy rank 3 than it is to just do Mythic Plus dungeons. It could very well happen. So let me know what you guys think. For one, I'm ecstatic about it because I don't give a fuck. I've been playing my Paladin with 4 blue essences for weeks. He's got 17s. You know what I mean? Like, who cares? Last season, I played a Brewmaster Monk 444 item level without even the neck upgrades. He had like 100k health. He had no health at all. I did 17s. You know what I mean? I don't care. Essences are not as important as you think they are. But I will say that between this and the corruption changes coming with Horrific Visions, customizing your alts is going to be a lot more interesting, more fun, more engaging, more doable. I don't have 50 hours a week to play this game, even though I already play it 40 hours a week. That extra 10 hours a week would be towards alts, and I just don't have it in me. It's just a lot of mental effort to be able to play 10 hours extra a week for alts. I like playing my main, and I'm glad that there's things to do on my main, but playing alts is not necessarily something that I love to do outside of stream. So this would be good for me, but you know, let me know what you guys think. Your mileage may vary, as they say. So thanks for watching. This was the first video I uploaded on my new computer. I had to use Streamlabs OBS. In the past, I would use a different program to record, and I haven't gotten a chance to get that program set up yet. So if this is not up to par, let me know. I'll see what I can do. And don't ask about college basketball.